What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Clemson Air Raid playbook in College Football 25. This is the Garrett Riley offense. He is the brother of Lincoln Riley at USC, so you kind of have an idea what to expect here. However, this is a blue blood playbook, so all these high prestige teams tend to have fancier playbooks than others. This one is no different. It's got a lot of cool, unique pre-snap motion, but it's still like an air raid playbook at a heart, and it's a very big playbook at that. So we're going to go through the formations, concepts, play types, and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So again, this is an air raid playbook, but kind of expect some other things built into it. But we're going to start with formations. Now we got a couple of pistol formations. The bulk of the playbook is shotgun. We'll cover that last. And then we got an I formation. But let's go up to the pistol. We got two formations here. Doubles Y off, an 11 personnel set, and then we got Y off trips, which is basically the trips version of that. You go to doubles Y off. Don't expect anything too crazy here. It's just basic run play action. However, it's got some RPOs built into it, which is pretty cool. There's not a ton of pistol formations that have RPOs built into these, but this particular playbook definitely does. So I suggest you check that out. This is a good little change up to a lot of your shotgun stuff that you're going to be doing. So make sure you go through that. Otherwise, again, this is just basic run play action stuff out of this formation, and it's really no different than Y off trips. You go here, we got a counter GT alert smoke. Anytime you see the GT counter stuff, that's classic Riley run game type concept. So you go through here, halfback power G. Again, you're just pulling guards around and such. Plenty of good stuff that is in there. But so again, run, play action, RPOs built in to a lot of that. So you got your two pistol formations right there. And let's go over to this I formation. It's I formation type. It's a 22 personnel look, and as you can tell, it's just run, play action. You're going to use this for your third and short, fourth and short, or if you just really want to change things up and freak out a defense. But let's go up to the shotgun formations. This is where the heart of the playbook is at. Starting off, we got gun, split, slot open. This is a 20 personnel look with two backs and no tight ends in there, 18 plays. We also got a split slot offset. And then we get our first 12 personnel look. It's wing slot weak. You got your two receivers on one side and two tight ends on the other. And then we get into our first 11 personnel look, and there's going to be a lot of 11 personnel formations in here. So you got doubles Y off weak, then you got Y off trips weak, then you got wing trips, and then you got wing trips weak, and then you get bunch open offset. So notice your tight end, number 9, in this formation. This is still technically an 11 personnel set with him over in the front on the right. And you got bunch wide. He's still out there, so this is still 11 personnel. We got double stack, same thing. Number 9 is still out there. Then we got spread. This is our first 10 personnel formation in the playbook. 24 plays, plenty of them. So now we're starting to really feel like an air raid playbook, at least in terms of the look of it. Then we get the spread halfback weak. Notice that tight end goes back in there as a default. So this is an 11 personnel formation. Then we get into tray open. He's still out there. 11 personnel. Now we go to trips. This is 10 personnel again. Then you go to trips halfback weak, another 10 personnel look. So you got plenty of 11, you got plenty of 10, you got plenty of 20. Just again, classic air raid personnel groupings. Then you get empty base trio. This should be an 11 personnel set if I'm not mistaken. So you know, look for your tight end and your halfback. So here, your halfback is number 7. You come over here, notice the halfback is on the far right, and your tight end is number 9. So this is technically 11 personnel. Look, then you're back to split slot open. So what I normally like to do is look for that pre-snap motion. There wasn't any in those two pistol formations, not in that I type, but we're going to have plenty in the shotgun. So let's just quickly go through here and see if we can find some pre-snap motion. You go to split slot offset. Do we have any here? Yeah, so this is our first halfback swing series. We got a Y cross, that's classic air raid. You got RPO swing, and you got motion double pass, a nice little trick play. We got more swing built into this. We got motion spot, we got a triple option, and we got a cross screen on top of that. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and select, where's it at? I'm going to go ahead and select this Y cross. Again, this is classic air raid stuff right here with the Y cross look. Everything to do with that Y cross action, really neat stuff. But anyway, halfback swing, you got several plays here that all work really well together, but you're just throwing window dressing at the defense. What about wing slot weak? Do we have any pre-snap motion here? We do not. What about doubles Y off? So here we have our first tight end motion. It's like an exit motion in a sense, where the tight end goes from left to right and then snap. You got an X spot, you got a slip screen, you got a spot and go. Do we have any more here? Yes, we do. We got a slot motion. This is where you got a jet sweep series. You got your jet sweep, you got a halfback seam, and you got inside zone built on top of that. Okay, you keep on going. Doubles Y off a week. Here we got more slot motion. We got it's jet sweep series still. You got a toss pass, you got a fake jet, and you got the jet itself. And we got more. We got a slant. It's an RPO with that pre-snap motion. Wild looking play right there. We got read option, then we got RPO, jet read, wide slide. So what did I say at the beginning of the video? It's a blue blood playbook. They get a lot of fancy stuff built into it, and this one is definitely no different. What about Y off trips week? Do we have any here? We do. We have more halfback swing. We got the swing itself. We got a pump and go. That's a switch concept. And then we got Z spot. You go over to wing trips. Do we have any here? Let's look. We do not. What about wing trips week? We don't have any here. What about bunch open offset? I do not see any. What about bunch wide? So the more spread out you get with your formations, the less pre-snap motion you're going to find. You keep on going. I don't see any in here. What about spread? So we have more halfback swing. We got the halfback swing with the backside smash concept. Then we got motion post curl. Then we got motion Z spot. I'm going to hit this post curl because I just like that little combo over here on the right. So as you see right here, we got a smash concept on one end and like a triangle read on the other. Let's see if I can make this look good. I think that may have been intercepted. Nope, that's a good catch. Good job. So that's a nice little 10-yard play right there. Either way, really cool. Some more halfback swing if you need it from their true spread sets. Let's keep on looking here. I don't think we have any more. What about spread halfback week? Yes, we do. More pre-snap motion. Motion Y cross. There's that classic air raid concept. Then we got a screen. Y sail, another classic air raid concept. You keep on going. Guess what? More halfback swing. We got an all curl. We got the swing itself with an Ohio concept on the other side. And we got Z spot. You keep on going. We got tray open. We have more slot motion. We got mesh, shallow cross, mesh post, all classic air raid concepts. Really sexy stuff. You go over here, I'm going to go hit this mesh. Mesh is probably my favorite of the bunch. Let's go up against like a nickel, for example. Let's see if I can make this look halfway decent. Again, just window dressing. That's all that is. But it does tell you what these teams like to do, at least in terms of they're going man or zone, so you can get that information beforehand. Again, really cool stuff. You keep on going. Do we have any more of this formation? Looks like we do not. What about trips? Do we have any pre-snap motion here? I do not see any. What about trips halfback week? I don't see any there. Empty base trio, you have some empty formations in here, and that's actually, you only got the one. So there's just a ton of pre-snap motion. That's what makes this playbook look pretty cool for an air raid playbook. It's just a lot of window dressing built in. Let's talk about the personnel. We've already hinted at some of this. So the bulk of the playbook is going to be 11 personnel, like with any type of playbook out there, just tons of it. But you go through some of these other personnel groupings, like your 20 personnel, you got split slot open, and you got the offset version of that. Then you go to 32, that's just your QB kneel. 22 is that I-form type. 21 is just a clock management. 12, we got one formation, and that's that wing slot week out of the gun. And then you got your 10 personnel. So anybody who's a little worried that there wasn't enough 10 personnel in your playbook, you got plenty of it in here. 24 plays there, 18 plays there, and another 18 there. So that's what, over 50 plays altogether, just out of the 10 personnel grouping. So I like the variety of personnel groupings, especially if I'm going to run air raid. When I want to run air raid, I'm kind of thinking of Mike Leach's way in terms of plenty of 20 personnel. You have more than enough 11 if you need it, but then I definitely need some 4 wide looks as well. And thankfully, we got plenty of that. Let's go over to concepts and let's look at how this playbook is constructed by play. So you look at the play counts. We got plenty of runs, options. Now, this is a very large playbook. You're going to notice we got over 100 medium pass plays, almost 90 deeps. It's just got a little bit of everything. I mean, a ton of option-based stuff, too. It's not just basic classic air raid. But let's start off with the run. You go to inside zone. This is going to be your most common run concept in the playbook. 22 of those, a nice little variety here, whether it's you got a pre-snap motion with an inside zone split. Plenty of inside zone split in here, as you can see. Let's go to ISO. You have 2 of those. You got 11 power. If you're going to have that much power, you're probably going to have that much counter, but notice there's that H power G. You're going to see these guards get moved around a lot. And of course, with all this power, you're going to see the guards get pulled with halfback bases, things of that nature. But when you go over to counter, you got counter-wise, you got a counter tray, which you don't see too often, a counter U. There's that GT counter week. I'm going to go ahead and select that while we're here. So this is classic Riley stuff. Either this GT counter, GT draw, GT this, GT that. And this is what that entails. You just got that guard and that tackle pulling for you. It's just pretty much a counter play on steroids with an extra puller. But you got 8 of those. You go to draws. We have 7 draws. So you're going to do a lot of drop back in this playbook. So thankfully, you're going to have plenty of draws to work from as well. Outside zone, 8 of these, and they're not all from the pistol formations. You got plenty from the shotgun. Actually, the bulk of it is from shotgun, which is kind of rare. There's not a lot of playbooks that are gun oriented that have a ton of outside zone, but sometimes you need to go outside the tackle box. Well, you got plays to do that. You go to sweep. We got 4 different ones, and they're all different variety here. You got a classic sweep from the halfback. You got a little jet sweep there. You got a lead toss, and you get into your goal line stuff. Now let's talk about the option. We have more option plays, or just as much option as we do run, but it's going to be plenty of RPOs and basic options. But RPO peak, we got 11 of these, a wide variety. You got swings and slants and glances and whatnot. You go to load option, we got 2 of those. These are basic speed options. You go to read options, we got 13 of these, but notice the variety here. You got plenty of inside zone split where that tight end off tackle goes across the line to help block for you. So you got plenty of those. You got pre-snap motion built into it. Reads and leads. You even got a cake read option. It's a pulling guard look. Again, it goes back to that GT counter stuff we was talking about earlier. Those are those 2 speeds again. We do got a couple of triples. We got a motion triple option from the right. This is when you got your 2-back set. And you got a slot option if you want to get a little option with your wide receiver. RPO read, we have 8 of these. It's just more variety of bubbles and flanker screens, things of that nature if you need those. And we got 20 alerts. Now, that's an absolute ton. And you got to remember, a lot of these plays are used in multiple categories here, so you're going to see the same ones over and over. But again, there's plenty of them in here. So if you need an air raid offense that has a ton of RPOs, I mean, you literally can't do any better than this right here. Just tons of options there. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind with all those RPOs. You go to quick pass, we got 28 plays here. That's a lot. We got 3 Ohios. You got 1 Omaha, 1 scat, 13 slants. That's a lot of slants. If you're going to have that much slant, you'll probably have that much stick. We got 2 spacings, and we got 8 sticks. So stick and slant tend to go together, but this is air raid territory. We want to run a ton of stick if possible, and thankfully you got plenty of it here. You go to medium pass. We got a ton to look at. We got 3 Salems, 11 slot cross. So that slot cross is technically Y cross. For the most part, you got 9 choices, so pretty much any play that's got an option route built into it, they're going to dump it here. You got 9 of those. You got 18 curls. Look at all these curls and hitches and whatnot. Tons of them. If you love curl flat, great playbook for you. You got 6 double moves, pretty much any type of route that's got multiple steps added to it, they're going to dump it here. You got 5 drives, that's just your dig and your drag going in the same direction. Levels is the steroid version of that, although this shock levels, it just looks like basic drive to me. You don't have that third little drag. You got 6 mesh. If you're going to have an air raid playbook, you better have some mesh built into it. Well, you have 6 of them here. You got 1 pivot, shallow cross, so this is the opposite of drive. You got the dig and the drag going opposite directions. You got 3 plays there. You got 23 smash. This is typically your most common medium pass concept in the game. 23 of them, and of the wide variety of different ways too, either corner routes or flag routes with hitches. I mean, you name it, it's going to be in here. We even got some slot fades. It's still technically smash. You got spot. You got 12 of these. This is a really high number, but this is technically wide corner in the air raid world. Wide corner is that wide slot receiver doing a flag route with a little set route underneath it. That's why they call it a spot route. And there's plenty of them in here. So anytime you see the word spot, kind of think wide corner in the air raid world. You look at Texas, 5 of these. So that angle route by a halfback or a tight end, you're going to have them built in right here. And 5 is a really high number for that concept. All right, deep pass. We got a lot of here to look at. 18 comebacks. So all those curls we looked at earlier, you got plenty of comeback to extend that curl. I love curl routes. I think they're just great man beaters, and you'll have zone beaters built in on top of that, but I really love comebacks. Daggers, 4 of those. You got 5 divides. Divide is typically like a go post combo, but as you can tell, it's a little bit of different variety. Like double in, that's classic go post, that is divide. But then you got deep attack where you got like a switch concept, but it's still kind of a go post in a sense. But either way, 5 of those. You got 3 double digs. You got 8 Double post, you got 7 floods. If you need a backside man beater with a triangle read on the other or a zone beater on one end, this is where you're going to have this stuff at. Plenty of there. A lot of that's going to be in Y sail. So Y sail is that slot receiver running like an out route with a go above it. Well, there you go. That's classic air raid. Vertical, 17. You can't have an air raid playbook without a bunch of verticals. This is technically 6. That's what they like to call in the air raid verbiage. Bunch of go routes and post and whatnot. If you need to go over the top, you probably need to go here. You got 8 meals plays. That's a pretty good number. Shot plays. This is play action over the top. For the most part, not all of these are play action, but these are really all meant to just go over the top and attack a safety or two. Switch concept. If you need a post go, we've looked at that a couple different times. Look all the variety here. You got shallow cross built into some of these. Stick wheel. Yeah, it's switch and stick in the same play. Really cool. But 6 of those. And Y cross, which we've talked about earlier. So that Y cross from split slot open, that is the most classic way to run Y cross right there. Really cool. So we've covered a lot of passes, but we got more to look at. We got play action. We got 3 boots and we got 6 slides, but we know better. There's going to be a lot more play action in here than just those 9 plays. It says we got 26 screens, but these are a lot of these RPOs we've looked at. It says we got 12 bubbles. If you like the bubble, I'm a big bubble fan of this game. They work pretty well. Flanker screens, little wide receiver alert screen types, they're in here as well. 8 of those. You got 1 halfback slip screen and 5 mid screens. This is actually a super high number for mid screens. However, it says we got 26 screenplays. But if you go over to play type, you go to pass, you go to screen pass, we technically got 28 total, and these do not include RPOs. So you take all of these screens, 28 of these, you go over to RPOs plus 39. That gives you almost 70 screenplays in the game. An RPO is honestly, it's just another screenplay in my opinion. So you got 39 RPOs. You got all these screens as well. That is a crazy amount. So what, close to 70 plays? That's awesome. I mean, that's your screen game is super important in this playbook, and it's an air raid playbook, as it should be. So while we're here, let's go over to play action pass. We got 44 play actions. An absolute load. I mean, especially for an air raid playbook, you think you won't be using that much play action, but here you go. You got plenty of it. But you got to remember, this is a very big playbook. Let's go look at some runs again. We're going to look at them in a different way, but we got 39 handoffs. The bulk of your run game is going to be between the tackles. But you got those 8 outside handoffs too, which I suggest you implement. We got 3 pitches. I definitely suggest you do those counters because this is a Riley playbook. So you're going to get some of that GT counter stuff. It just adds a little more flair to your run game. You got 7 draws. There's a couple fullback runs, and then you got 1 QB run. That's at the QB sneak out of goal line. You look at the options. These are your true options. Speeds, reads, leads, loads, zones, all of these are going to be right here. You're normally not going to pick this playbook just to run option. There are better playbooks for that, but you got plenty in here to use if you need it. Now, those RPOs we looked at, 39 in total. That's a whole lot. All these peaks and all of these alerts. You combine all this with all those screens, all those play actions, and you just got more than you know what to do with, on top of your classic air raid stuff that's built into all this, which I think is just great. So again, if you need an air raid playbook that's humongous, has a lot of window dressing, a lot of pre-snap motion, and just has a lot of other things in general, you really can't go wrong with this playbook. I can't recommend it enough. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.